When we think of Dante's Inferno, our minds usually jump straight to, well, fire, demons, and all sorts of suffering, right? But what if I told you it's so much more than just a catalog of horrors? Today, we're going to peel back the layers and see the Inferno for what it really is: a totally meticulously constructed universe, a universe with its own laws, its own physics, and a design that is just surprisingly logical. Just look at this. It really captures that surreal, almost alien landscape of Dante's imagination. This isn't just some random place of punishment. It's a fully realized world. And it was built from the ground up by one single, incredibly powerful vision. So the real question is, what are the rules of this place? And that right there is our central question. Because if you want to create a believable world, even a fictional one, you need more than just a cool setting. You need rules. You need a system that makes sense within itself. And Dante, as it turns out, was as much a cosmic architect as he was a poet. So our journey into this universe starts with its most famous layer, its moral law. And trust me, this is anything but random chaos. There is a very, very specific logic at play here. Now, the key concept to understand is something called contrapasso, which is basically a kind of ironic justice. See, every single punishment in the Inferno is a twisted reflection of the sin itself. The punishment doesn't just fit the crime. In a way, it is the crime, just turned back on the sinner for all eternity. Let's take a look at a specific case study from way down in the lower circles of hell, the falsifiers. Here we meet guys like Capocchio, an alchemist who tried to ape nature by turning cheap metals into gold. You've got Sinan, whose lies led to the fall of Troy, and Master Adamo, who literally falsified reality by minting phony coins. What they all have in common is that they corrupted the very nature of truth itself. And this is where that ironic justice just clicks into place. Because they corrupted the natural world, their own bodies are now eternally corrupted by disease. And because their lives were built on lies and deception, they are trapped forever in these pointless, nasty arguments with each other, with absolutely no hope of ever resolving anything. What's really interesting is that Dante, the character, actually finds himself getting drawn into their little squabble. He's fascinated by it. That is, until his guide, Virgil, snaps him out of it with this line. The lesson here isn't just that falsifying is a sin. It's that even finding entertainment in these petty, vulgar arguments is a moral failure in itself. Okay, so we've got a moral code. That's layer one. But a true universe needs physical laws, right? How is this whole place actually held together? What's the science, if you will, of Dante's hell? This brings us to a part you might not expect, the science of hell. I mean, Dante was a man of his time, and he was deeply educated in medieval cosmology. And he baked a surprisingly consistent scientific model right into the structure of his entire universe. So here's a classic diagram of what that universe looked like. It's geocentric, of course. The Earth is smack dab in the middle. Way up at the top, you have the heavens, paradise. And then at the absolute bottom, burrowing right into the center of the Earth, you have the Inferno. And what holds it all together? One simple thing: gravity. For Dante, gravity wasn't just a force. It was the fundamental organizing principle of everything. All things that are heavy, both physically heavy and spiritually heavy, are drawn down, down, down towards the center of the Earth, which, by the way, is exactly where Lucifer is trapped. In this universe, sin literally has weight. And get this wasn't just some poetic idea for a book. In the year 1320, Dante actually stood up in a public debate in Verona and used his theory of gravity to argue about the geography of the globe. I mean, he was applying his cosmic model to the real-world scientific questions of his day. All right, so we've got a system of justice, and we've got laws of physics. But is there something else? Is there a deeper blueprint, a single core idea that connects the moral punishments to the physical world and explains why everything reflects everything else so perfectly? Well, the answer is a resounding yes. And it lies in a third, kind of hidden layer of Dante's universe, an ancient, mystical philosophy that was actually pretty common back then, but also kind of unorthodox to be the blueprint for a Christian afterlife.
This is the principle of correspondence. It's a key idea from an old philosophy called Hermeticism. And the basic concept is really simple. Patterns repeat themselves on every level of reality. The laws of the heavens are reflected on Earth. The spiritual world is mirrored in the material world. And a person's life on Earth is a direct blueprint for their afterlife. This is its most famous saying: as above, so below. Whatever happens on one level of reality is mirrored on another. Just keep that phrase in your head for a second. Now, let's go back to hell. Remember those ironic punishments? Well, here's one of the most disgusting ones. This is Dante's description of the flatterers, who are forced to wallow in a river of, well, filth for all of eternity. And here it is. This is the aha moment. Why this specific foul punishment? It's as above, so below. In life, on earth, the world above, they spewed metaphorical crap. So in hell, the world below, they are condemned to literally wallow in it. This single hermetic idea is the hidden key that unlocks the entire logic of Dante's system of justice. So, when you put all these pieces together, you start to see the full picture. Dante didn't just write a scary poem, he engineered a complete world with these amazing interlocking systems. First up, you've got a moral code. It's a system where justice isn't just about punishment, but about ironically and poetically reflecting the sin back on itself. Then, he grounds that moral code in a physical cosmos, a world governed by a consistent law, gravitation, that gives sin literal weight and pulls it down to the center of everything. And finally, he ties it all together with an underlying mystical philosophy, that principle of correspondence, which provides the ultimate why for the whole system. It's this fusion of morality, physics, and philosophy that makes the Inferno so powerful, so enduring. Its terror doesn't just come from the grotesque imagery, but from the chilling realization that in this universe, everything makes perfect, horrible, inescapable sense. This whole incredible feat of world building really leaves us with a final thought. Dante constructed his universe from the biggest ideas of his time: faith, science, myth. And it really makes you wonder, what are the building blocks of your own universe? What are the unspoken rules that secretly structure the way you see the world?